Where'd you go?
What do you mean?
You've been gone like forever. What were you doing?
I was getting the stuff. You told me to get it.
And it took you that long?
It's not easy doing this kind of thing. I had to think about how I was gonna do it.
To do it? To do it. What does that mean? What were you thinking about not doing it? Because if you were, if you better know to God that I will find you, and when I do.
No, it's not that.
Then what is it?
It's just that I was trying not to be so conspicuous. You know, not draw attention to myself.
By doing what? Going to the vitamin store to get some supplements and capsules, and the hardware store because we have a pest problem?
No.
You think that's conspicuous?
No, it's not that. I don't know. I get the feeling everyone is watching me.
Oh, I see. Or maybe better yet, I hear. I hear the small, still, distant voice of guilt. Am I right?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure we should be doing this. This
what?
This thing that we're planning. I'm not sure we should be doing it to innocent people.
Why? Because you think they deserve better?
Don't they?
No more than those people at Columbine or Virginia Tech or that movie theater in Colorado.
But what have they done to us?
They haven't done anything, stupid. That's the point.
Just like that, we're gonna do it to them?
No. They're going to do it to themselves. We're just providing them with the opportunity, that's all.
Yeah, wonderful opportunity.
Of course it is. Okay, listen, and think about this. Think about how we as women will distance ourselves from those other gun-happy fools who, by the way, we're all men.
Oh, really? How do you figure that?
Let me put it to you this way. Do you think those kids in that high school, or the ones at those colleges, or those people watching some movie ever had a chance?
I don't know.
No, think about it. They were there, period. We, on the other hand, will forever be seen as being humane.
But we're gonna kill people.
No, people are going to kill themselves by going to the salad bar or the hot food bar or one of those all-you-can-eat places, those buffets. They don't have to go and stuff their faces.
But we're still going to kill them. We're gonna poison them, for God's sake.
No, we are only going to set them a spot in the hereafter. And when we do it enough times and enough of them die, we will achieve what none of those lousy, no-good, worthless pieces of male shit ever achieved. We will become legends, and as legends, we will separate ourselves. Tell me, do you remember any of the names of those guys who went on those rampages?
No, I can't. I don't.
That's right. And what's really important is that they got caught, and we still don't remember their names. But they'll know who we are because we're going to announce it. We're going to tell them who we are. You see...
Like Thelma Louise.
Yes and no. Thelma and Louise weren't even real. They were characters in a movie. Besides, they weren't like we're going to be. They didn't do nothing like we're going to do. No, let me tell you this. We ain't going to be driving ourselves off no cliff. Well, not you, not me, not us. We're going to be alive and immortal, and we will celebrate and be celebrated in a glory everlasting. Now, let's not waste any more time. Show me what you got.
Hey, Pine, are you awake?
What do you think?
I don't know. If I knew, I wouldn't ask.
Now, if you were here, in the corner, in complete darkness,
What do you think you'd be doing? What? What? Hey, can you tell me to keep it down? Some of us are trying to get some rest.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, we were only talking.
Talking. Alright. Between you two talking and the people who live here, it's driving me off the wall. I can't get one blink of rest ever.
I know.
You don't know, you don't understand.
Hey, relax, will you, Fern?
Relax. You want me to relax. Okay. I'll tell you what. Once you two get me out of here, then I'll relax.
I understand.
You don't understand anything.
You know, it isn't any easier on any of us either.
Oh, is that right? Is that so?
No, it's not. Let me ask you two this. Do you ever get overwatered by that bitch that lives here?
No, in fact.
I didn't think so. Let me ask you two this.
What?
Do any of you get stuck in front of the window where you get so much sunlight that your leaves start to wither?
Well, actually,
I mean,
it's...
I need some light. Not direct sunlight all the time. She's got me living in a tanning salon.
I know.
You know. You would know fertilizer if they fed it to us. Tom, when was the last time any of us got fertilized? Well, except for that asshole husband. What? He just keeps putting cigarette ashes in my pot.
I agree. That is me too.
So, when was the last time you got any attention from either?
What kind of question is that?
What are you talking about?
Oh, you know.
I don't.
What Fern is saying is that it's personal.
Personal? So you're
Yes.
saying that Misery and her moronic husband, that's personal?
I guess so. When it comes to getting attention, especially fertilization.
Okay. You want to gloss over the whole thing. But let me ask you two something else.
Why, sure, go ahead.
Okay. Why are Fern's leaves all shriveled up? Hey. And you, Pine, why do your needles look, well, sort of kind of dead?
Well, let's see here.
You do remember, right? Last Saturday night?
Last Saturday.
Yeah, last Saturday night. Right here, in this room. And I might add, right in front of us. They went at it.
Oh.
You remember that, don't you?
Yes.
Her, you know what, got caught in my branches.
Her, you know what got caught in my branches. Hell, you know what it was.
Yes, I don't. But don't.
It was your fault.
They never wanted that.
Embarrassing, huh? Okay, so it's all right for the two of them to fertilize each other right in front of us. But do they think of fertilizing us? Well, do you agree or not?
I don't know what to say.
Hey, I know I'm speaking for Fern too, but you're right. I don't appreciate things being thrown on my branches.
What about you, Fern?
Well, you shouldn't have done that to me.
What?
What he did,
What are you saying?
he hurt me.
Who?
The husband?
He hurt you.
Yes, Sammy, he hurt me. Okay? Are you happy now?
When?
He hurt me. How about you know when he was... You know, when he was... You know.
We don't.
When he was... Well, I can't.
wee bit too far.
No.
Well, but they're humans. They could trash us at any given moment without giving us a second thought.
Fern's right. You know, I mean, one time she had me standing in front of the living room window for 2 whole weeks, and I saw the humans in the neighborhood were thrown out.
Well, no, I don't know. Tell me. I mean, I'm always here in the corner. I can't see out the
All
window.
right, go ahead, tell her.
Well, of course, at the beginning of January, when it's cold out, they throw out the Christmas trees.
What? Wait a minute. I mean, everyone does that time of year. I mean, besides, those trees are normally.
Now, hold on. You're talking about my brothers and my cousins?
Yeah, I know all the plans are related. I'm sorry.
We are.
See, that's my point. The humans will celebrate and have a good time, killing some and some of their very own.
That's sick.
Yeah.
What else have you seen?
Oh, I've seen the humans throw away corn plants and cacti.
Humans are sick. Really messed up.
That's what I've been saying. We could easily be next.
We won't.
Oh, you know.
Oh yeah, that's right, I do.
How?
How do you know?
Do neither of you pay any attention to what's going on around here?
There's nothing to pay attention to. It's mindless.
What about you, Fern?
I spend a lot of time in the corner. What else can I see or say, Grant?
So neither of you have any clue what's going on around here?
Nope.
Not me.
Would you like to know?
I suppose.
Yeah, sure. But what does that have anything to do with what goes on around here?
What?
Yeah, what?
Yeah.
Like, the reason they're not going to throw us out is because they're too busy.
Oh, come on.
What?
Hey, listen to me. When was the last time our soil was changed? Or our leaves? Well, for those of us that have leaves, hey. Wiped or sprayed? Or even given anything extra added to our soil so
Well,
that we can grow?
That cloud of a husband. He picks his nose, rolls his snot, and puts him in his soil.
No, that's really tough. At least you don't have that bitch getting loaded and pour half the drink on you.
You're missing my point. Like, all that I'm saying is that they're so busy that not only do they not have time to take care of us, but they're definitely not going to have time to buy new ones.
That's probably true. But what keeps them from throwing us out? That doesn't cut into their busy schedule.
Yeah, why don't they just be like normal people and just throw us out too?
Because we're basically like part of the family now. Haven't you heard her tell them that we're like fixtures around here?
Yeah, I have.
So how do we get back at them?
I don't like this at all.
There's nothing to worry about. We just do little things to make them think that they're going crazy.
Humans are good at that.
Yeah,
Like what?
simple things. Like trading places, like moving around.
Moving around.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
They may be crazy, but they're not stupid. It'll never work, Grant. Sorry, it will never work.
Trust me, it will work.
Oh, come on, let's try it. Beat standing in the same place doing nothing.
All right, Clint, what do we have to do?
Alright. It's real simple. You and Pine go and stand in a different part of the room.
And what about you?
Me? Well, I'll just go to the middle of the room.
Right.
How's that?
But, aren't you forgetting something?
What?
The wife is not the first one who gets home. It's the jerk.
Fern's right.
So,
Wise guy, maybe, just maybe, might notice, but that idiot of a husband, well, he's clueless. It's almost like she married beneath herself.
Is there a pun there, Fern?
Oh, please, Pine. Maybe a little bit of alliteration to follow.
will you two stop? Trust me, you'll notice.
Okay.
I'm telling you he won't though, but you're trying to be far too subtle.
Yeah, alright, fine. You want less subtle? Okay, we'll be less subtle.
How?
Well, we'll line up in the middle of the room. How's that?
That's less subtle.
Okay.
Identify. We're plants, not human.
Okay, that's good.
I'll try that. Alright, good. Now, you should be getting home anytime soon, so let's move.
Hey, don't be so pushy. Remember who you are.
You should talk. Hey, stop shady. He's here. Okay, everybody, make like a plan.
Hi, honey, I'm home.
How corny.
He makes me want to drool. Hey, shut up, you two.
Honey? Honey, she's not home yet. Hello? Oh, it's hi, I just walked in. Okay.
Oh, God.
Okay, so you want to get, some stir-fried rice? Broccoli with garlic sauce? And, mixed vegetables, okay. Yeah, you'll probably be back before I get home with the food. Honey, did you come back after you left for work this morning? I don't know, something seems different around here. I don't know, maybe it's just my imagination. Oh well.
Did you guys see that? We really fooled that sucker.
Oh, I don't know. He did seem confused.
Confused. He was on the verge of paranoia.
Right.
Uh,
Now you're not only a plant, you're also a psychiatrist.
No.
I'm beginning to think that you're the one who's going crazy.
Listen, hear me out. Remember when he was on the phone with her?
yeah?
Yeah. Well, I'll bet you that he was wondering whether she came back home after he left for work and, did that fertilization thing with someone else.
Oh. I don't know, that seems a bit off. And it seems a little bit sketchy.
Oh, I don't know about that, Vern. I mean, sometimes when I'm standing in front of the window getting baked, I look across the street and I see the man that lives next door. He's having a woman come over in the early afternoons, on Wednesday, I think. And the woman that lives 2 doors down on the left, she's having a man pick her up. And I'm not talking about her husband. Every Friday morning.
See, they're like animals. They're no different than the cats and the dogs that run through this neighborhood.
So what if they're like animals? Who cares?
No one cares, except for them. They seem to consider each other their own property, their own territory.
Yes, which means...
Exactly. We can get him using that strategy. We can get her.
Ah. What do you hear?
Hey, it's her. She's back. Okay, quick. Move to a different spot.
Hey, plant, aren't you gonna move?
No, I'm just gonna knock myself right over here.
Oh, that'll really get her.
You two are sick.
Yeah, she's coming.
Hello? What's this?
How did you get knocked over?
What am I thinking about it?
Why are you all out of place?
Oh, hi, honey.
What have you been doing in here?
What do you mean?
What do I mean? Look around. It looks like someone was having a party in here and had to leave in a hurry.
You know, I could ask you the very same thing. It didn't look like this when I went to get the food.
Oh, no. You're not going to turn the tables on me. I know that game. I want to know who she is.
What?
You heard me. Don't play dumb. I want to know her her name. Isn't that little slut down the street with the red sports car?
You mean Vicky?
Well, my. Aren't the two of you on a first name basis?
Well, I'm on a first name basis with her husband David, too.
What are you telling me? What are you telling me about David?
That's her husband.
What difference does it make? I mean, you're on a first name basis with him, who cares?
Just, I think just because you think she's married, that I'm fooling around with a married woman. I mean, married women.
Oh, what is that supposed to mean? You're telling me she's married? Just because she's married, that is no excuse. Married women fool around all the time.
Do they now?
That's right.
You speaking from experience?
What the hell is that supposed to mean?
You took the offensive on me. I think you're trying to hide something.
Like what?
Don't think I haven't noticed you checking out the body of that dentist next door.
Oh my God, he's our next door neighbor. What am I supposed to do? Ignore him?
Do whatever you want. Just get him to clean up after he knocks over the plants.
I resent that. Somehow those plants get moved, somehow this plant gets knocked over, and what I know for sure is that it wasn't me.
You're lying.
I'm not the liar around here, it's you.
I'm leaving.
Where are you going?
Out. I need some air.
It's her, isn't it? Isn't that little brat behind the corner, behind the fence with the sunglasses?
Kiss off. And go give your dentist friend an oral exam.
Oh yeah? Well, why don't you look at the little slut who made this mess and get in here and clean it?
Are you two okay?
Oh, I'm fine. That was scary.
I know, they really went at it. Hey, Pie, can you see them from where you're standing? I think they're taking it out to the street.
No, I don't. No, wait. Yeah, there they are.
Oh, where?
She followed him all the way down to the driveway.
Come on, let's go watch in the mirror. The window.
I don't know. Don't they see us? Oh, they're not gonna see us. They're too busy arguing.
Oh, look at them. They're actually dumb enough to take their stupid lives and their petty insecurities outside so that everyone in the entire neighborhood can now see them.
That's so pathetic. Truly.
Well, what did you expect? We're human.
Yes.
After they get tired of arguing, we're going to go out.
Oh, be careful.
Hey, that hurt.
Relax.
Okay, we're all set. So, where were we? Yes, you have a question.
My question is relatively obvious. Why?
Why?
Yes, why tonight? After all these years.
Well, it has been years, hasn't it? What, 12, 13?
Just over 14 and a half.
Wow, more than I remember.
But not long enough for me to forget.
Steph,
But let's get back to the question. Why tonight?
would you believe? To see if you still miss me?
I don't.
But you haven't divorced me.
Nor you me.
Like we agreed when we split. Why should the lawyers get rich?
I'm waiting for an answer.
Well, consider it junior colleague to senior colleague. Look, you write restaurant reviews for the Herald, I write them for the Gazette. So, why not meet for dinner? Besides, you're the one who got me started in this business.
I see, sort of like a professional tete-a-tete.
Yes, exactly.
But without retiring to your place or mine to review the dessert menu.
No dessert menu, no after dinner drinks, no comparing notes. Just dinner here.
All right, that seems harmless enough.
Good. So are you going to write a review based on tonight?
I don't know. I've come not to like Italian.
You don't? Why not? I thought you'd begin.
No, not anymore. Italian places remind me of you.
Me?
Yeah, you know, dull, boring, kind of rustic and homey. You know, this entire place could have been made by you, out back from scratch.
Oh, I see. As opposed to super chic and neat, brand new and ultra modernly expensive.
Yeah, that's me, and that's why we're separated and not living together. Look, just about every Italian restaurant is the same. The layout, the atmosphere.
What about the food, the drink?
Wait a minute. Let me ask you another question. Are you going to review this place for the Gazette?
I am.
All right. I see. You know, you and me will review the same restaurant at the same time for 2 different papers. Yeah, I like that. Okay then, I'll review it for the Herald.
Good. Where would you like to start?
At the beginning, with the cocktails.
The bloody bowls we had.
Yes, I thought, well, considering my distaste for all things Nikolai, I mean Italian, I thought it was really good, well made.
You found that well made.
And tasty.
Even though the spice they used was somewhat akin to a Georgie and nowhere near to Sear.
Tell me, how did you know?
I know by the way it moves and flows around in my mouth before I swallow it. Besides, Tabasco sauce was old. They used the wrong kind of black pepper. The Campbell's beef broth, which is supposed to be a double strength, was clearly watered down, was only in single strength. Besides, the color of the drink belied the fact that they used much at all, let alone what the recipe calls for, of Lee and Perrin's Worcestershire sauce, no sign of celery salt, and the lemon weight was bordering on being dehydrated.
All that.
What do you mean? I addressed every aspect, every ingredient of the drink.
No, I mean, yes, I know, but you were so
Comprehensive?
yes, I am amazed and impressed.
See what you've missed by living in your sterile, neat little world?
And what about the wine?
You mean our wine?
What?
Surely you remember all those bottles of Brunello de Montalcino that we ordered? We could have owned stock in the company.
Is that what that is? The Brunello. I had forgotten. How nice.
A better way to celebrate not only the two of us coming together as professionals, but to commemorate and remember some of the better moments of our past. Do you remember the wine now? Does your palate tell you, recount for you some of the good times we had together?
Yes. Yes. That was very thoughtful of you.
So, tell me, what did you think of the pizza order?
I don't know. You know, after that critique of the cocktail, why don't you tell me?
No. You're the one who told me everything I know. So why don't you tell me, what you thought of the, pizzeria?
Well, I think that they tried to make it tasty, but
What?
like I said, they tried to make it tasty, like you would experience in northern Italy. I mean, but it just quite didn't reach that threshold, I mean, all the ingredients were there, but at the same time, it did taste the way pizzoccheri should taste, but, it kind of tasted, well...
Generic?
Yes, exactly, generic.
Very good. Actually, brilliant.
You think so?
Of course. Look, cooking generically while holding it out to be authentic is no different than a forgery or a counterfeit. It's in all walks of life. Forged artwork, counterfeit money, knockoff watches, purses. Why should food be any different?
Sad to say, you're right. Nikolai, back when we were together, I know I never said anything. There were a lot of times your intelligence and analytical skills left me in awe.
Well, it was you that sensed it was generic. It was you that sensed and articulated the ruse.
So you agree it was generic?
Of course, absolutely.
Tell me.
Well, I think pointing out just a couple of things is more than enough to support my conclusion. I'm guessing that they used margarine in the first step instead of butter.
Why?
You can tell that the sage and garlic are terrible, which hints to me they used margarine because, as we both know, butter has a melting point between 90 and 95 degrees. Margarine, on the other hand, generally melts between 94 and 98 degrees, thus the overcooked.
Very good. But you said a few points. Give me one more.
All right. What is the essential ingredient in this dish?
Breadcrumbs.
That's right. And if you look very closely, you'll see they're too uniform, too perfect, each one looking like the other. You're store-bought.
You know, Nikolai, I'm thinking about your critique tonight. And you've talked about texture, you've talked about color, you've talked about the way things look and feel. You've talked about the hints that you detected in the preparation of the food. Hell, you even talked about our sure time with the Brunello. But you've not said anything about taste. Tell me, Nikolai, how do all these things taste to you?
Steph, do you remember back in the beginning?
When we were first married.
No, before that, when we first met. You were, a beat reporter?
I was an entertainment reporter and you were in the circus. I remember we'd gone to see you perform because I thought you'd be a fantastic interview, and you were. It was incredible. How could I ever forget that?
And one of the things that drew us close together was our love for cooking, and how that turned into and spun off into what we do for a living today. Specifically, how once you became established, you helped me get started.
Yes, clearly. But what does that have to do with tonight? About my question about taste?
Well, all those years of doing my routine, the eating and breathing of fire, it's all very exciting and it requires a great deal of discipline. But it does have its drawbacks. The largest of which are the blowbacks. When the flames go back into your mouth and throat, well, progressively over the years, because of the blowback, I have, for all intents and purposes, lost my sense of taste.
You mean you can't taste it all? No bitter? No sweet? No salty?
No, nothing.
But your reviews are so exact. Almost perfectly right on the mark.
Well, as you've deduced, I've managed and found a way.
But this is your livelihood. I mean, does anyone else know?
No.
You've trusted me with this. Why?
Well, Steph, tonight, we shared what we shared in the past, our love for cooking. I know we never always got along, but still you haven't betrayed me. I mean, like we talked earlier, we haven't even gotten divorced, and it's been 14 and a half years.
Nikolai, I am very touched. I would have never thought you would share something so intimate with me. I don't know what to say.
Steph, you don't have to say anything. Let us order another bottle of wine, and then we can go on to apply our skills to the dessert.
On to the dessert menu. And then, after the wine and dessert, well, who knows? Maybe we will have that after dinner drink. Somewhere.
Aren't you tired of Lady Road?
What do you mean? What do you mean? You've hardly been in this house for a year. I mean, what are you saying? You want to sell it and move?
No. What I'm saying is that we need to upgrade. We need to get some new things, plates, silverware, glasses, design bath towels, and a microwave, a 60-inch plasma TV.
Whoa. We don't have money for that kind of stuff.
I know.
So then you're talking crazy.
No, not crazy talk.
How?
We're gonna get married.
What? Get married? We can't afford that either.
Oh, no, we don't have to afford it. I have it all planned out. Want to hear?
Sure, run it by me.
You see, you're right. We don't have the money. But if we maximize who we are, what we do, and the people we know, we don't have to spend a dime. All right. Just to be safe, let's say that we can keep it under $100, a couple $100, just in case.
Okay. You want another beer?
Why not?
There you go. Now, tell me about this.
Okay. I hope that you realize that I put a lot of thought into this whole thing.
No doubt.
Okay. So anyway, I've broken down our costs and how to sidestep those costs into a couple of categories.
Okay.
So, our first cost would be the location for the shower, the place to have it.
That makes sense. What are you thinking?
Your parents' backyard in the suburbs. It's nice, it's big, it has plenty of shade.
My parents' backyard. You think we're going to go along with this?
Definitely.
Why?
Why? Because you're their son, that's why. I'll bet you that they'd be so happy for you, for us, that they put the bill for the food and the alcohol.
Probably. So, okay, go on.
Of course, people will want to get us shower gifts.
I know, then what?
So we need to set up a registry for the gifts, with Ashley and Tom had, so that we can begin to get the kind of gifts that we need and want. And I'll take care of that.
Next, what's after that?
There's the hall.
That's a major cost. A big one. How do you plan?
I have to get all figured out. It just so happens that my mother's cousin, Roberta, she's a manager of that quaint little reception hall over in Bergenfeld. You know which one I mean, right?
The one that looks kind of Victorian? Oh.
Yeah, that's the one. Well, Roberta's daughter, Catherine, just graduated from high school and she wants to go to college. But her grades were really bad for 3 out of her 4 years. Well, though she did okay her last year, but her overall average is pretty pathetic.
You lost me. What's the connection?
You remember my friend Barbara?
The one with the big hair, the one you work with.
And whose office is just down the hall from mine, and, ironically, she's in charge of freshman admissions. And
Barbara's going to admit her.
extenuating experiences, which places her in a special needs category.
Oh.
After doing that, Catherine will get the hall for nothing, which pretty much takes care of one of our biggest expenses.
Yeah, but what about the food and the alcohol at the reception?
Oh, that's good. That's good. Now you're beginning to see where I'm at. So, that's why we're going to get married 3 years from now.
3 years? That's a long time.
No, not a long time, so much as it's a necessary period of time in order to do this the right way.
The right way.
So we don't have to spend any money, or at least as little as possible. These things take time. You know that, don't you?
I know that.
Okay, so here's what you're meeting in 3 years. Every time we have a get-together or a party, and people ask, what should I bring? Because they always do. We'll have each person bring either a bottle of wine or a bottle of liquor, depending upon what we tell them, and then, towards the end of the 3 years, we'll start mixing the beer, so that by the time we let it, our alcohol costs will be non-existent.
What about the food?
I don't do it buffet style.
But who's going to cook it and what are they going to cook?
I'm not
to do the same thing with the food and ingredients that we need for the buffet, just like we do with the alcohol.
What? Ask people to bring buffet food and ingredients to our parties.
I'm like, no, what I mean is that at some point prior to the wedding, maybe 6 months to a year, depending on what we need, once a week, we'll buy one of the items that we need, so our food bill won't be all that much different.
That takes care of the canned and dry stuff, but what about the meat? Maybe I should say the meats?
Good question, I've thought of that too.
I'm sure you have.
I have, thank you. Now, remember all the times that we talked about how helpful it would be to have a little freezer in the basement?
Yeah.
Okay, so the other day, on my break, I go to Home Depot and I saw they're selling them for under $200. So I figured if we go out to eat every other week instead of once a week, in 5 or 6 weeks, and at the outside most, we could buy that little freezer for the meats.
That's pretty good. Really doable, except for...
Except for, who's gonna prepare the buffet, right?
Yeah.
Robbie.
Robbie. Come again?
Robbie. You know, the guy who plays bass in your band. Didn't you tell me that he went to some culinary school before you hooked up with him?
Yeah, he did, but what makes you think that he'll want to do it?
Didn't you also tell me that he has a thing for your sister?
You're not thinking
I
about...
am.
And who's supposed to...
You.
Me?
You.
Let me get this straight. I'm supposed to convince Teresa that she should go out with him.
Mm-hmm.
And
As well as, you're gonna tell Robbie that the only way you're gonna do it is if he cooks the buffet for us.
Jamie and Teresa, huh? Out on a date, right? Right? Maybe, yeah. Oh. I suppose he is kind of harmless. I know it might take a little effort to convince Teresa, but yeah, I'm sure she'd do it for me. I mean, it's not like I'm asking her to sleep with him. Yeah, okay, I'll do it.
Okay.
Do you want to get married?
Do you wanna get married?
I do.
Then let's do it. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
You're here to tour the museum. I see, and you're all showing me that you've already bought tickets. Okay, I see. You do undoubtedly know that the Museum of the Basement closes in about 10 minutes. And besides, the tickets that you bought are for our grand opening, which is tomorrow. So I know what you're saying, or actually what you're hoping for, is that since you're already in line for tomorrow, that maybe, just maybe, I might let you have a peek, an early peek ahead of time. Yeah, that's what I thought. Well, there are really just too many of you, and there's so little time, and not to mention the fact that all the exhibit halls have already had their interactive computers turned off and their security systems turned on, so sorry. I know it's disappointing. So you'll just have to wait until tomorrow. But there is something I can do. I can tell you a little about what you'll encounter with the exhibits, sort of like whetting your appetite. As you may know, the Museum of the Basement has been established to reveal or make public and raise a consciousness to those things that go on in what is called the basement of a building.
basement as in below ground, out of sight, perhaps secretively, perhaps sinisterly. That said, let me begin. All right, first of all, and without going into any detail, you should know that the museum in the basement has sophisticated computer interactive software that is second to none. In a way, I believe that it is safe to say that whatever interactive software any of you have experienced is probably equivalent to the Stone Age. To illustrate my point, let me describe some of the exhibits. Part of what we were doing is categorizing those things that have gone on in basements, in cellars, if you will, by country. Now, near the beginning of the alphabet, we have Austria. In that way, you can actually spend time in the basement window of a cell that Josef Fritzl kept his daughter imprisoned in for 24 years. Our exhibit has the same electronic keyless entry system that you can pre-program for whatever amount of time you wish before you go in and spend some time. Now, moving on, there's also the Russian wing. In it, you can passively simply watch the holographic execution of Tsar Nicholas II, his family, and a number of servants. However, uniquely so, you can select an active mode of level of participation, and this can range from being in the basement of the Ipatyev house in Yekaterinburg and with the royal family, to engaging the universal translator and speaking with them and their executioners, to picking up, or if you wish, handed, a pistol and participating in the execution. Also in the Russian wing, you can either passively or actively experience the attempted assassination of Rasputin. You can serve him the cyanide-laced cakes, shoot him in the back, club him into submission. You can even try your hand at castrating him. Since it will all seem extremely real, virtual, anyone under the age of 18 is not allowed in these exhibits. Moving on to the United States. There's a couple of intriguing exhibits. You can interact with John Wayne Gacy, and, well, depending on the active level that you choose, you can either simply help him bury the 29 young men and boys that he killed, or actually help him do it. Other exhibits in the U.S. wing are Gary Michael Heimlich of Philadelphia, Anthony Soule of Cleveland, John Benet Ramsey of Boulder, and my favorite, the Herman Webster Mudgett, aka Dr. Henry Howard Holmes of Chicago exhibit. This is probably the most elaborate and sophisticated exhibits in the museum. Okay, a back bit of history here. Henry Howard Holmes opened a new hotel in Chicago in 1893. It was a 3-story building that he called the Castle, and others eventually called it the Murder Castle. At street level, there were various commercial establishments, but on the 2nd and 3rd floors, there were a maze of 100 windowless rooms with doors that didn't open from the inside, numerous secret passageways and chutes that emptied into the basement. Once his victims were in the basement, it was there that Dr. Holmes tortured, dissected, and murdered his victims, all 27 of them. What we have created in this exhibit is what we call a holo-world, as in holographic. Now, depending on the level of active participation that you select, you can wander the castle, spend time in the rooms, traverse the secret passageways, and even join Dr. Holmes in the basement. Of course, this exhibit, as with all of your active participation exhibits, will require, depending on the level of participation that you select, that you will be required to undergo a thorough criminal background check, as well as submit yourself to a comprehensive psychiatric evaluation. It's for the safety, protection, and limiting of liability of both the museum and the patron. As you can well imagine, that at the highest level of active participant, the last thing that we're interested in is having the criminally and or psychiatrically deviant being involved. Well, our time is just about up. So let me close by telling you about a very person-specific kind of exhibit. We call this exhibit Your Basement Experience. Now, I'm sure that many of you have had what we can call loosely a basement experience. Generally, these experiences are of uncomfortable, painful, eerie, bizarre, maybe even traumatic variety. And your experience may be taking place in any number of kinds of basements or cellars, any number of kinds of people. So, you'll be pleased to know that our interactive software can recreate both any kind of basement physical environment as well as any nature of relationship that you may have encountered in your life. All you have to do is fill out one of your basement experience questionnaires and we will program the exhibit. You can, for example, choose dark, dark and dank, dark and moldy, light and damp, among many other options. And then you can select mother, father, brother, sister, uncle, brother-in-law, your sister's boyfriend, and on and on and on. More specifically, say that you wanted to recreate a time in your life when you, as a prepubescent female teenager, began being cornered in the basement and slapped around by your father for being insolent and disrespectful. Well, we can bring back that kind of basement memory. As they say in different walk of life, you can do it, we can help. And one of the better parts about it, because we're dealing with just you don't have to go through the criminal or psychiatric checks and evaluations. Okay, please now, we all must go and wait the few hours before our grand opening. I hope that you found my introduction interesting, and I look forward to seeing all of you here tomorrow at the Museum of the Basement.
That's me, you know? Yep. Dear sweet Laura. I know. Some of you are wondering, what is going on? And how is this possible? You see, I decided to go out jogging today. Or I decided to go out jogging. You got run down by a car. Or it could have been a pickup truck. Maybe the driver didn't see us. Maybe the driver was drunk. Who knows? What we both know is that it didn't stop. Just kept on going. And left us. So now, Laura, we are critically, fatally injured. So much so that the end is impending. So now we are in what's called the in-between time. It's that time between life and what comes after death. Well, the in-between time doesn't last very long, usually just a couple of minutes, but it's enough time to begin the transition to what happens next, or what comes next. But what's amazing is that during that time, that Laura and this Laura, we experience, feel, think the same thing as one. What makes the in-between time so exceptionally different is that we're in a position to see the proverbial doors between two different realms. In one direction, we can look back on the experiences of our lives. We can look at the good times and the bad times. And then in the other direction, well, let's just say one door leads somewhere, and at the end of the in-between time, the first door will close. And then we'll enter the second door. And we'll go on together. Does the next door lead to heaven? Or does it lead to hell? I know you've heard it. Who hasn't? But what's something you probably haven't heard? It's real. And you know what else? It's right here on earth. It's right here in this place. In my head, in Laura's head. It's in the head of everyone in this place. But you don't know it yet. And you won't know it until you're in your own in-between time. You see, what Laura and I are going through is a kind of, how about we call it, a retrospective overview of our lives. And since so much is made of the blessedness of heaven, I guess it's the proverbial fires of hell that are so painful at this time. What I'm talking about are really the joys and regrets of our lives. The joys, heaven, and the regrets, hell. I mean, that's why she's doing so much twitching. She's suffering, particularly the painfulness and especially the irreversibility of the regrets, of her regrets. And trying to accept and reconcile them. Let me put it a different way. When you're in your in-between time, reviewing your life, hell is the equivalent to dying with regrets. Because there's nothing you can do about something you should have said, or should have done, or a way you should have or even should not have been. And because you have regrets, and before your physical life is over, you will pass through a hell of your own making and experience an agony of your own design. It's getting closer now, so I should probably wrap this up. But I suppose I should offer you a word of caution, or if you prefer, a word to the wise. This whole regrets, being a living hell going in between time, is important because it's only those things that remain in your memory without change, without fading. Things that you should have said, should have done, but you didn't. And you knew. I clarify this because the in-between time shouldn't be trivialized. It should not be burning, petty, insignificant wants and desires, like it has nothing to do with not having won the lottery. I hope you can understand what I mean. Anyway, we have to go now. But let me leave you on a more hopeful, heavenly note. If you really think on your journey through life about trying to minimize or eliminate the possibilities of regret, you will have a joyous and blissful in-between time that will open you up to an understanding of the wonders of heaven. Goodbye now.
She's late. Oh, she's almost always late. That's one of the reasons we can never live together. She's probably stocking up at the liquor store for later tonight.
Mother! Mother!
She just hates it when I act like I can't hear her.
Didn't you hear me?
What?
I said, didn't you hear me?
What? Did you say something?
Just forget it.
Forget it? Forget what? I never forget anything. There wasn't anything to forget.
Do you have your hearing aid in?
I always wear it.
No, you don't. I've seen you without it.
That's because I was getting ready to change the battery. Well, once I got a chance to go out to the store and buy one, once you get around to picking me up to get one,
Whatever.
I'm not whenever, only when the battery dies. I'm like a battery, you know.
What does that mean?
It means my days are numbered, just like yours are. You're not some spring chicken, you know. You don't look half as good as your sister. That'll get her.
She's 4 years younger than I am.
And probably pounds lighter.
Are you starting up again?
She's kind of pathetic, isn't she? I mean, there was a time when she was very attractive. Sexy even. But just look at her. You know, I have a nickname for her. I call her Scarface. Just watch it. She always has this miserable face on.
Are you ready to go?
I just have to get my sweater and...
And your walker. You know you can't go out and get around without it practically crippled.
I've been around her and her miserably depressed friends, and you know what I do? I played the deaf and dumb game. Yeah, there's that deaf old crippled lost in her own world mom sitting in the corner, the gimp. Yeah, that's what they call me, the gimp. Of course, it's all behind my back or beyond my supposed range of hearing. But what she doesn't know is when I go out with her, no, we're not going out as a mother and daughter. Oh no. Everyone looks at us as Scarface and the Gimp. I'm not a cripple. I don't need that walker. I'm ready to go.
You're gonna fall down.
No, I'm not.
You're gonna break the hip.
So if I do, what's it to you? You know, I left my sweater in the car. Do me a favor. Go out and get it for me.
Why? Did you leave it in there? Don't you need it in the evening?
It's like you said. I'm becoming senile. I'm getting Alzheimer's. My arteries are hardening. I'm losing brain cells. And I'm distracted, even confused, a lot of the time. And maybe I might be on my way to being mentally ill. And if I am, I could turn on you. I could go psychotic.
Would you just stop it already? Just stop it. Look, I'll be right back with your sweater.
I just love throwing the crap that she tells me back in her face. It just drives her crazy. Speaking of crazy, she'll never admit this to anyone else, but the last time I was over to her house, I was going through her mail. Oh, no. I don't open her mail. That would be wrong. All I do is read through the mail that's already opened. Hey, I'm her mother. I have rights. Anyway, I saw that she got a letter from her therapist. You know, the most recent one. And you know that? You know what? He dumped her. Can you believe that? After all that time and money, he makes his killing and tells her he can't help her anymore. Ha!
There you go.
Well, I want it.
Just said you did.
That was then.
That was only a couple of minutes ago.
So what? Things change. I'm not cold anymore. Besides, your car has heat, doesn't it?
Yes, but
But what? You can't leave it running for me when you go in and see your shrink?
I'm not doing that today.
You're not, but today's Tuesday, isn't it? Don't you always go in on Tuesday?
I did, but I don't anymore.
Oh, and why is that?
Because today I'm doing something different. And we have to be there in like 15 minutes, so come on.
Oh, really? What's that?
I'm going to start the process so that I can convert.
You want to join the convent?
Not convent, convert. I want to become an Episcopalian.
But what about therapy? I mean, you've been making progress. Look how far you've come in, what is it, over 2 decades? Besides, you're not a wasp. You don't look like them. And you sure as hell don't have as much money as they have. Hell, they won't even let you in their church. And on top of it, you don't even own a sundress, let alone be able to get into one and look svelte.
Oh, you're good.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the insult. Let's go.
Well, wait a minute, I have to go to the bathroom before I go. Why don't you wait for me in the car, warm it up and turn up the heat? I'm cold now, I'll be right out.
Go to the bathroom and hurry up I don't want to get there late. That would be rude and embarrassing.
Do you believe that? I'm going to be rude, and she's going to be embarrassed if we're late for her conversion session. So she's going to be embarrassed, but what about me? What about me being embarrassed for the way she turned out? What does that make me look like? Huh, can you imagine that? She's embarrassed, and I'm rude. But you know what? Maybe she's right. Maybe I'm old and rude, and maybe I don't care. So look, you know what? I've had just about enough of all you people. We're done here. Why don't you just go on and get out of here? Go on, get out. I've got a daughter to take care of.
Shit. Where did I put it? You know what all this is? They're memorial requests. Yeah, memorial requests. You see, my husband Kenneth, you know, the guy that I was married to for over 17 years, he died the other day. Was it the other day? Maybe it was the other week. Maybe it was the other month. Who knows anymore? And the really crazy thing about it, though, is that he dropped dead in front of his girlfriend in New York. Can you believe that? I didn't. I couldn't. Until the body showed up. That pretty much cemented it for me. I mean, how are you going to deny that a dead body is a dead, right? Anyways, all these notes, and cards, and letters, each one is a request for a memorial service or function or something. Let me ask you this. How many of these dear friends do you think knew about him and Holly? Yeah, her name's Holly. He was gonna divorce me for her. He was gonna stick it to me so we could stick it to her. So what killed him? Who knows? Maybe it was the double dose of Viagra he was taking. I guess he should have called his doctor when his erection lasted longer than the 3 months that he was usually gone for. But enough about that. I've been trying to figure out what to do with all these stupid requests that yesterday came to me. Actually, it took me pretty far into the night to figure it out. With a little help, I just managed! Actually, it came to me like in a dream. No, better than a dream. It was like it came to me in a vision. Yeah, that's it. A vision. I had a vision. A holy understanding. Maybe it was even God sent. Wouldn't that be something? Getting a message sent from God? And isn't that just like all those biblical people? You know what, on second thought, forget about the Bible. Isn't my vision just like those kids at Fatima and Lourdes? Or those apparitions in Medjugorje and Guadalupe? That's it. I'm just like them. We all have the same thing in common. We all live out in the middle of nowhere in sticks, and we've had this vision. Oh my God, isn't that incredible? Sorry, I know you want to know about this vision, don't you? Come on, I know you want to know. You want to because I ended up being smarter than all of them put together. Smarter than him, and a bitch, and all those people who knew for years what they were up to, and probably were laughing about it behind my head back. Oh, poor pathetic Deborah, she didn't have a clue. What a dumb shit. Dumb shit got this one figured out. Got it figured out real good. Let me tell you what I've done. I had him cremated. Yeah, that's him over there. Say hi, Kenny. He's in the so-called urn in the middle of the table. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to send some ashes to everyone who asks for some type of memorial service. Isn't that great of me? So, right over here are little bottles of ashes for everyone. But before I show you what I mean, before I give you an example of what's in the bag, I want to tell you how I got the bottles. 20 years ago, I started seeing a shrink. It shrinks, whatever. And not because I had any major problems or hang-ups or anything, just somebody to talk to a couple times a week. Of course, the doctors prescribed this and that chill pill, to make it look like the therapy was actually working. Now, here's the really brilliant part. Are you ready for this? I saved the bottles. I did. Going back to the very first one, I have 20 years of bottles in my basement. I thought I might need them for something someday, and voila! Who knew? My genius, my brilliance would come in so handy and so opportune. Alright, I'm going to show you what I mean. This one right here is for his brother Todd. T-O-D-D. Todd. It's his share of the ashes. There's one for his sister. And, his friends at work, college, the military, anyone and everyone who wanted a piece of him. And that includes Holly. See, she wasn't just a girlfriend, or even an affair. A mistress, like my mom likes to say. She was more than that. Much, much more. They were in love. Jesus Christ, can you believe that? At his age, in love. And then they wanted to spend the rest of their lives together, starting with their vacation in Baja, California, the pictures from which were posted on their Facebook pages. That's where I'm really beginning to be, but who knows? Maybe there were beginnings before the beginning that I found out about, came to know about. Maybe all those weeks, and then months, and then almost, not quite, but almost a year that he would be away on business. Maybe he wasn't really where he said he was. Maybe he was with her. Maybe he really was where he said he was, but she was right there with him. Maybe something. Maybe, Anyways, he's dead now! So, being the wonderfully considerate person that I am, I'm going to send all of them, especially Holly, some ashes. Let me tell you the catch. Do you see the cigarette? Do you see it? You know what happens when you light one up? You know what you get? You got ashes! That's what you get! and then setting up a shrine in her condo where she could cry and weep over what remains of her dearly departed Kenny. Oh, the best part about it all is that she will go to bed every single night, eternally grateful that I shared him with her. And hey, Holly, hey, when you say your prayers at night, don't forget to thank me for sending you what you can imagine to be his Viagra-stoked parts right there with you in your bedroom. Maybe you'll take him to bed with you at night and wrap your hands around that little bottle and...
Thanks everyone for coming this afternoon, and thank you John Latt for writing these cool plays. We enjoyed, they've been seen in many different places in Manhattan, and I hope that in the coming years, more of his works will be seen. Thank you and have a good afternoon.
Yeah, I bet.